The African people's history has been over time the most overlooked and whitewashed. Did you know that Africa has been known by many names? Kemete, Egypt, Sudan, Corfu, Ortygia, Ethiopia, and Alkebulan, Garden of Eden. In similar fashion, the history that matter has been distorted to draw a narrative away from the African heritage. The holy texts reminds us that what was hidden shall be revealed, and what was whispered shall be shouted on housetops. Luke 12:2, 3. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. African Global is here to unmask the lies and put narratives into their proper perspective, as John Henry Clark would say. Without further ado, let's delve into today's episode. Tribes of Africa and the Outside World. The massive continent of Africa is home to many diverse peoples who have existed together for centuries. Until 300 BC, Africa had not come into contact with the outside world until Alexander the Great decided his expeditions in Africa through Kemete/Egypt to control Nubia for its fine gold. The 15th century, however, came with more of the Europeans pushing in the upper lands deep in the continent further south, in what was a religious expedition by Venice in Aksumite Kingdom, Ethiopia, which could cement the long-term contact of Africa with the outside world. The continent has been habitat to 3 expansive tribes since and after the contact with the Europeans. The natives have consecrated themselves to maintain their identity and heritage. Kushites, Kush, Nilo-Saharan, Niger Congo tribes occupy the areas in the north, northeastern and western tip to southern Africa respectively. Niger Congo settlements, assimilation and relations. The settlements in Niger and Congo basins contributed massively to this connotation. Niger Congo is the largest language group, accounting for at least 1,400 diverse languages. Of these, at least 600 million people, according to the Britannica survey, speak a Niger Congo language. This is more than half, 85% of the entire African population. Niger Congo group, like the other two, has experienced turbulence of culture, colluding and brewing more diverse languages through superiority adventures and peaceful interaction. These interactions was not limited within the tribe, but the other tribes also. Notably, for instance, is the fusion between the Bantu Gusii community with Nilo-Saharan Luo in Kenya. This gave rise to 2 further tribes, Kuria and Abasuba, who have their phonological words resembling the 2 communities. While interaction most significantly brewed into a whole other sect of people, it watered down existing small groups. During the second half of the 18th century, for instance, the expansive Kikuyu people assimilated small native groups in central Kenya, Gumba and Dorobo. The Niger Congo speakers, as mentioned, are spread from Dakar, Senegal, at the westernmost tip of the continent, to Mombasa in Kenya, and south to Cape Town, South Africa, Britannica. The Niger Congo comprised of 9 subgroups that populated most of the sub-Saharan Africa. Formerly connoted as Western Sudanic by German scholar Diedrich Westermann, with grey areas of conclusive research of ties with Bantu, it was Joseph H. Greenberg who first came into conclusion of the close ties of supposedly Western Sudanic in the West and Bantu in Central and South Africa, and connotatively derived Niger Congo language group name comprising of the 2. It is worth noting that the Bantu group, which emanates from the Benue Congo phylum of the great Niger Congo language. Bantu is way massive, maybe a reason it was confused as a distinct group. From Congo Basin in Central Africa to the East and Southern Africa, of the 9 subgroups of the Niger Congo languages, Benue Congo sect accounts for further 11 substrands, 900 languages, more than half of the entire Niger Congo languages. Of these, 700 languages are Bantu, representing more than half, 350 million people, of the entire Niger Congo language. Akpes, Oko and Akan, Edoid, Edfoid, Nupoid, Idamoid, Igboid, Kainji, Platoid and Cross River accounts for remaining share. Akan people of Ghana. Of the 11, it is only Bantu who live outside Benue and Niger rivers, with a huge number residing from Benin, Nigeria, Togo, all the way to some parts of Cameroon. Bantu are spread from the heart of Africa to the east in Kenya and south in South Africa. The Zulu, Xhosa, Ndebele of southern Africa, Kikuyu, Ngoni, Ganda and Swahili of East Africa, and Shona, Ashanti, Fanti in Central Africa are but a tiny notable drop under the canopy of massive Bantu. Swahili, though, is a lingua franca in Central and East Africa, and a diplomatic tool in the United Nations was started by Swahili communities in the east coast of Africa. The Swahili language has taken Africa and the world by storm, with its speakers rising to 200 million in the world, the Kwa in the Holy Text. Kwa is a group that established itself in the western part of the continent, especially in Ghana, Togo, and Benin. Of these are notable Akan who hail from these countries. The Akan people are important in human history of exploitation and religion. They claim their ancestry in Arabia before settling in the western part of Africa. They are the descendants of biblical Asa, descendant of Esau, who occupied the hill country of Seir, Genesis 36:27. The children of Asa are these, Bilhan and Zavan and Akan. The Chronicles refers to him as Jakan, 1 Chronicles 1:42. The Akan of Kwa substrands emanates from Volta Congo subgroup as the Kru Gur, Adamawa Ubengi, and tentatively Benue Congo. This shows that Akan have close ties with Bantustans, a notable feature that would be exploited in another narrative of Akan country and Ghanaian Israelites. While the languages in the Niger Congo tribe are expansive, their phonology, sentence structure, and noun formation are quite similar. At the same time, the tone and pitch variation may vary tentatively. This isn't to say that the 9 groups of the Niger Congo tribe do not descend from a common ancestor. It is normal for man to explore more lands to accommodate himself, and through that, he had to conquer some areas, especially during the picketing ages. This way, a family could break, and as time goes, becomes a clan, and in the end, a tribe. This is how the Luhya community came to form 18 substrands with a common phonology but different dialects. So as the Luhya descent from a common ancestor, so does the Niger Congo tribe. Knowledge is power, and information is way more emancipating. To get more of this content, do subscribe and press the like button to support this channel. Until next time, God bless.